Hi, I'm Charlotte Fleming from Great Copy. I've been writing for 25 years, and I've been in business as a writer for 3.5 years full time. And I write websites, blogs, brochures, sales letters and press releases and all that sort of thing. I have 2 blogs of my own, one on diving and the other about copywriting and words. And I write regular blog posts for 2 clients, plus occasional ones for a third. So I do know what I'm talking about. I guess some of you already blog, but would like to improve what you write. And others are in the, I know I should, but I don't know where to start, or I can't write camp. So the first question to ask is, who are you blogging for? Let's start with the easy one. Just current clients? Do you want to write to potential clients? People who never buy from you but are interested in your industry? To friends? Just for yourself, to let off steam? How well do you know your clients, assuming that you're writing for business and therefore that's who you're writing to? Who would be a typical client for your business? You need to know everything about him or her. Age, sex, whether they're married or not, income bracket, hobbies. This is a typical marketing exercise, but just as important for blog. Visualize him or her, give him a name, find a picture that represents her. It's much easier with a narrow niche, obviously, so you may want to have several blogs if your business covers several separate areas. For instance, B&Q have both DIY and trade customers, so they'd do better to have separate blogs for the 2 sectors. Then write to one person. There's only one person reading your words on each screen, so write to one person, not some of you may think. Your reader's thinking, which bit of me? Write as yourself and keep it conversational. You're not writing a company report or an essay. Don't use corporate speak or unnecessary jargon, though technical terms are okay for an audience that understands them. For my scuba blog, I obviously use technical terms. If I put them on my copywriting blog, I'd have to rewrite them, explain them. Write as though you're having a coffee with your reader. So, if you're writing for a blog for people like you, then you can use all the technical terms you like. That's fine. Use questions to get responses. Comments make your blog come alive to your readers. As soon as they start joining in the conversation, it grows legs. Others join in and you develop a real sense of community. If you're a member of a LinkedIn group or you're following a page on Facebook, you'll have seen that happening. The next question, slightly more difficult. Why are you writing? All sorts of possibilities. To inform, to create a relationship based on rapport before you start selling, to get potential clients to contact you, also known as search marketing, to build credibility. Bertrand Russell, the famous philosopher, wrote, "Man is a credulous animal and must believe something. In the absence of good grounds for belief, he will be satisfied with bad ones." A blog showcases and proves your expertise and provides good grounds for belief in you, your business, and your product or service. And as we discussed before, remember your reader. Remember what you really sell, both the sizzle and the steak, the fixed shelf and your handyman business. An occasional rant is okay, but that shouldn't be the raison d'être of your blog. And why write a blog rather than other forms of social media or a newsletter? Well, I use blogging, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook business pages. They're all useful and all free, but your blog should be the cornerstone of your online marketing plan. Blogs are better than Twitter, etc. for search engine optimization, and obviously have the advantage that Twitter only has 140 characters, whereas in a blog you can spread yourself. But use as many methods as you can, especially the free ones. Get the message out in different ways and set up links between all the online ones. You never know who will see what, and you can automate it all now. It's terribly easy. Next, what will you blog about? Now, this is one that a lot of people struggle with. Are you keeping it purely about your business, writing about whatever comes into your head? Or somewhere between the two, which I think is best, a bit of business and a bit of personality, especially if you're a solopreneur. Remember the ultimate purpose of your blog and keep it relevant. Give away good info, show you're an expert, How-to posts are great. 7 things you didn't know about X. Case studies of what your business has done for your clients. Interviews with other people in your business or industry. You can set up a Google alert for a relevant subject. You'll find it in their business section, or just Google Alerts. I set one up for a blog that I write for a client. They have a chalet in Val d'Isère, and so I have a Google alert for anything that pops up on the internet about Val d'Isère. And every day I get between 1 and 10 bits of information that may or may not be useful when I come to write their next blog post. Very, very easy to do. As a tip, use guest bloggers for variety and a day off for you. Or even pay a copywriter if you're really not a writer and haven't time to do it yourself. So, other good places to start finding ideas are other blogs in your sector, the news, newspapers, what's happening in your own business, Google AdWords keyword search tool results. You can look up what people are looking up, and industry insiders' opinions. So there are sites like Alexa.com, Quantcast.com, and Compete.com, where you can search and compare visitor profiles for the most successful companies in your niche, provided you know who they are, of course. Go to the most popular blogs in your market, look at which posts get the most questions, and try to figure out why. Read the comments on those blogs to gain even further insight, and then write about what other people are writing about already. Now for the actual writing. And the most important thing, the most important question you need to answer is, what's in it for me? Where me is your reader, not you. Too many places we on their copy. And that's where you go, we. We did this, we did that, we were founded in 1923. Boring. On the whole, not interesting to your reader. Think about what they're looking up and write about that. Another thing to think about is, what style is your company? Are you a suit and tie lot? The Richard Branson jumper look? Or the tradesman's overalls? No prizes for guessing which category I fall into. Put some personality in, especially if you're a solopreneur, as I mentioned. Layout and style. That's important. Use illustrations and caption them. A, it breaks up the text so it's more restful on the eye, and B, the advertising guru David Ogilvy did some research that discovered that people look first at pictures, secondly at the caption of the picture, and thirdly at the text. So it's a way of grabbing your audience's attention. Keep your illustrations relevant too. In a blog about prostate cancer, a picture of small kids playing could be ridiculous, unless the blog is referring to staying alive to see your grandchildren grow up. So there are ways of using whatever picture has grabbed your fancy, but do keep them relevant. Google Images is a good source of pictures, and to avoid copyright problems, when you go to Google Images and you've chosen whatever image you think would be relevant, you'll find a cog symbol called Options comes up on the top right of the page. Click on that, select Advanced Search, and scroll down the page until you find Usage Rights, and then select Only Images Labeled for Reuse, and then Commercial Use. That way you will have no copyright problems at all. Proofread. Do proofread. Please proofread. Proofread your copy yourself, preferably twice, and then get someone else to double check it. And try it on different platforms to make sure it reads okay on Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Firefox, and things like that. They don't always all look the same. That's your business you're putting out there, so make sure you do it credit. Very important. Search engine optimization. You may know this as SEO, and keywords. Very important, because 60 plus new blogs are started and 1,500 blog posts are made every 60 seconds. So you really need to make your blog stand out. So how do you do that? Think like your clients. I'm about to get Google AdWords keyword tool. How do they search? What are they searching for? Look at competitors' sites. If you go to SEOmoz.org, term extractor, you'll find what keywords are working for them. Very useful tool. Use keywords as categories on your blog. I'll talk more about that in a minute, so people can look up the bits they're interested in. And create textual hyperlinks back to your website or to other pages on your website if that's where your blog is already hosted. Link thoughts and text back to previous blog posts or pages on your site. All those hyperlinks are good for SEO. So the question obviously arises, do you want your blog on your website or as a separate blog pointing back to your website? And both have their advantages and disadvantages depending on your blog style or content. If your blog is definitely about your business, then keep it on your website. If it occasionally strays, I would keep it separate and link it back to the website. And if your blog isn't on your website, its URL is vital. It has to reflect what you're writing about. Have your website address at the end of every post if the blog's not hosted there, and a contact me link. Again, good for SEO, all those links. And add plugins like All-in-One SEO to enhance your posts and the chances of people seeing them. All-in-One SEO has boxes for category, for keywords, for taglines, for captions, and for headlines, and all those sorts of things. So they give people more chance of hitting on the right keyword to find your blog. And equally it gives your blog more chances to show up in the search engine results. Allow comments, but don't force people to subscribe before they can comment. There's a tool, akismet.com, which captures spam comments, and you can download that for free onto your blog, but definitely in WordPress and in Blogger, and also for websites. I'm not sure about other blogging platforms, but it's very useful. It catches spam comments so that you can just trash them before they ever appear on your blog. So reply to people who comment, even if it's only to say thank you for taking the time to comment. But the more comments that appear, the more buzz there will be, the more likely you are to appear in the search engines. Always useful. And also the more likely people are to keep commenting, and it builds as a community. If you go to SEOscores.com, you can analyze your blog and find out how you can optimize it for SEO. How often should you blog? When you've got something to say, but make sure it's regularly. Find something to say at least weekly. Some people do it 3 times a week or even daily. It depends on your audience, but do it. Once you start a blog, you have to keep it up. But blogs don't have to be very long. Ian White of Big Man Talking does one-liners. You can just post a quote or something interesting that happened on this day in 1372. It doesn't have to be totally relevant, provided it's interesting and it gets you noticed by those search engine spiders on a regular basis. And then you've got to get your name out there. So it's not just about SEO. Ask people to tweet a link to posts they've enjoyed. Make it easy for them by putting links to Twitter and Digit and LinkedIn and things like that at the bottom of your blog. List your blog on directories like Technorati. You can set up RSS feeds, that's really simple syndication feeds, into your Twitter and business Facebook pages. On LinkedIn, you can tick a box to connect your tweets to LinkedIn. So if you tweet when you've written a new blog post, it appears on LinkedIn. And you can do that via Facebook as well, but make sure it's your Facebook business page. Keep a separate page on Facebook for your business from your personal one. Don't confuse the two. Tie everything in, but keep it all business orientated, basically, and use as many relevant avenues as possible. And monitoring. See whether anybody's noticed your blogging. You can set up a Google alert to find out. And social mention is another good place to go and look. Don't expect instant results. It's free advertising that takes time and effort, but it is worth it in the long run because A, it's free, B, it sticks, people remember it, and C, it reaches people you couldn't realistically afford to advertise to. So give it a go if you've never tried it before. If you have tried it before but you're not getting seen, there are lots of tools in here that can help. And if you've got any questions, now would be a good time to ask them. Okay, I'll speak to you in a minute.